What does it mean to be an intentional leader? What does it mean to lead with greater intention? I get asked this question all the time. Michael Kerr here, everyone. I want to remind you that great cultures don't just happen by accident, and great leadership doesn't just happen by accident. You know, you can't fake it. You can't go buy your culture at IKEA. Even if you did, no one would understand the instructions, and you'd have parts left over that no one would know what to do with. I remind my audiences of this all over the world, that it takes intentionality. You have to be intentional about your workplace culture. That means getting everyone in your organization thinking about how they contribute to your workplace culture. And you need to remind everybody from the very top down to the frontline employees that everything everyone says and does either adds to your workplace culture or detracts from your workplace culture in some way. And the same can be said for great leadership. If you're going to build a great workplace culture, it requires intentional leadership. And intentional leadership doesn't just happen. That's why the whole word intentional is right there in front of the word leadership. You can't fake leadership. You've got to be intentional about being a leader in your organization. You need to think about what you want your leadership legacy to be. You need to think about your role as a leader. And if you're going to build a great workplace culture, you need to encourage everybody at every level in your organization to be more intentional as a leader, to build a less soul-sucking, less fun-sucking, more collaborative, more resilient, more service-focused, rocking culture, the kind of workplace that everybody wants to show up to on a Monday morning, a want-to instead of a have-to kind of workplace. So coming up, I've got 15 tips for you on how you can encourage both yourself and the people around you to be more intentional as a leader.
Let's energize your workplace. Mike's here for some serious fun.
So what does it mean to be intentional as a leader? I talk about this in my latest book, Small Moments, Big Outcomes, How Leaders Create Cultures That Fuel Extraordinary Results. I've got a chapter on what it means to be an intentional culture leader and what are some of the key characteristics of successful, inspiring leaders. And I end this chapter with a reminder of what it takes to be more intentional. So I'm just going to refer to my book here. Why not? Because it's right here. Why would I reinvent the wheel? In fact, if you got my book, you could be following along. How fun would that be? You could be reading along with me. So 15 tips, 15 reminders on what it takes to be more intentional as a leader. Number 1, let your actions do the talking. Remember that actions speak louder than words and talk is cheap. What you do speaks volumes about your leadership. And so be aware of what your actions are communicating. If you want to be more intentional as a leader, you need to embrace that front and center. That is everything, because actions speak louder than words and talk is cheap. Number 2, ask for help. Real leadership is never about having all the right answers. Being a leader means being open to asking for help when you need help. And trust me, if you, as a leader, ask your employees for help, ask your employees for advice and input, it is one of the most effective, powerful things you can do as a leader. That sends the signal you are a confident leader. Number 3, ask for feedback. Very similar to asking for help, but specifically asking for feedback, which is different than asking for help. It's not easy to hear honest feedback, of course, and I talk about this throughout the book. But as a leader, if you ask for specific feedback about your role as their leader, that is one of the most powerful things you can do to keep improving as a leader, to be more intentional as a leader, and to build trust with your employees. Flipping over the page now. Number 4, be a positive energizer. I talk about the importance of that, and I talk about this study where they found that the number 1 characteristic of successful, inspiring leaders was that they were positive energizers. I don't mean this in some woo-woo new age kind of way. These were just positive people. They made people feel good about themselves. They were present. They listened. They were attentive. They made people feel good about themselves. And the litmus test is simply this: are you the kind of leader that people are happier to see come into the room as opposed to seeing leave the room? Number 5, check in with your employees consistently. If you want to be more intentional as a leader, this is one of the biggest things you can do to improve your perception as a leader. Number 6, connect with other departments. You see, having a leadership mindset is about not just thinking about your piece of the pie, your department, your people, your resources. It's about thinking about what is best for your entire organization. And when you become that connector, when you become that person who checks in with other departments, it makes a powerful statement about your intentionality as a leader. Number 7, look for the small moments that can make a difference. I called the book Small Moments, Big Outcomes for a reason, because it truly does come down to those small moments. You passing by employees in the hallway, talking to employees after a meeting, how you present yourself during a meeting, the small little gestures, the simple little things like saying good morning and asking people how their weekend was. That stuff matters more than you could know. So make the small moments count if you want to be more intentional as a leader. Number 8, make decisions with your culture in mind. If you want to be intentional as a culture leader, every time you make a decision, consider how will this decision impact our culture and how does it reflect our desired culture. Number 9, set daily intentions. Oh, this is a big one. I've met so many successful leaders, interviewed so many successful leaders around the globe who've talked to me about the power of setting daily intentions, where they write down maybe just 2 or 3 things even that they want to work on, 2 or 3 habits, leadership habits specifically, that they want to focus on. And then they review the intention list at the end of the day and use it as a scorecard to make sure they are intentionally getting better as a leader. I love that idea. That is so important. Number 10, use checklists. Hey, pilots use checklists. Doctors, surgeons, all sorts of different professions have checklists for a reason. They work. So why not create a leadership checklist for yourself of those things that you want to make sure you are doing? Number 11, invest in your development as a leader. You've got to be responsible for your own development as a leader. So make a reading library for yourself, a leadership library. Watch courses, listen to podcasts, consume as much leadership content as you can. Great successful leaders are always learning. I have interviewed leaders in their 60s and 70s that still talk about going to courses and learning new things because they want to continue to grow as a leader. So invest in your leadership development. Number 12, take care of you. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a little bit of a cliche here, but if you don't take care of yourself, I mean physically and mentally, then you're going to be in no position to take care of the people around you. So you need to remember to take care of yourself. You realize I'm just paraphrasing from the book. The book is, I'm just pulling out stuff from the book here. I'm just paraphrasing. Number 13, I don't know why I had to tell you that, but just in case you thought that was exactly how the book was written, it's not. Number 13, start a leadership journal where you can actually capture thoughts, ideas, questions that you have. As I talk about here, the U.S. military provides service members with green memorandum books that fit perfectly into their pocket. And these books, people are instructed early in their careers to use them to write down leadership lessons throughout their career. So have a leadership book, a leadership journal, if you will, where you keep track of lessons that you learned, ideas that come to mind, questions that come to mind to help you be more intentional as a leader. Number 14, share your leadership style profile. I got it out with employees. And what I mean by this is actually write down what your leadership style is like. Let your employees know. Actually document it. Talk about what you like, what you don't like as a leader, how you give feedback, how you like to receive feedback, how you like to be communicated with, anything and everything that you want to include, that you want to share with your employees, that you think is important, that will give them a sense of what kind of leader you are. That will help build trust again with your employees. It'll also help you be more accountable with your employees. And number 15, remember to have fun. I can't be the author of a book called The Humor Advantage, Why Some Businesses Are Laughing All the Way to the Bank, and not mention the importance of having fun as a leader. If you embrace the notion that leadership should be fun, that it is fun to come up with ideas, that it is fun to connect with employees and to coach employees, that it is fun to lead other leaders and develop their leadership skills, that it's fun to come up with ideas to engage and inspire and motivate your employees and build a more rocking, fun, great, successful workplace culture, then how could you not be more successful? I'll answer that question. You can't. You won't be. You will be more successful. Of course you will. So there you go. 15 ideas on how you can be more intentional as a workplace culture leader. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button. Join our community as we talk about rocking, inspiring workplaces that rock. And if you want to be intentional about your leadership and intentional about building a great workplace culture, I'd invite you to cruise by my website, www.mikekerr.com. Gets you there. Go to the bottom of the homepage, sign up for my weekly newsletter, Inspiring Workplaces, where I talk about what it takes to be more intentional to build a rocking, great, inspiring workplace culture.